Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers. He's now a CNN national security commentator. Congressman, thanks very much for coming in. What happens if the Senate fails to act by midnight Sunday?
Well, it actually starts earlier. There are servers that have to be shut down at the National Security Agency, and that takes time to do.
That's supposed to start around 3 p.m. on Sunday.
That's correct. And once that kicks off, it's nearly impossible to stop it. They'd have to stop and then regroup and try to reprogram the thing to get back.
But the Senate isn't even coming into session until Sunday afternoon.
It's definitely a problem. I'm certainly disappointed in both the Senate and the House, actually, for just leaving town. This is an important issue. And to that question where people say, well, can you point to one case, one smoking gun? You know, in an investigation, it's never just the smoking gun. It's all the pieces of evidence you can put together to stop an act of terror. This provides a very important tool. And by the numbers that they're giving you, 200 on this program, 100 on the roving wiretaps, you know it's used judiciously, but an important piece of a very big and complicated puzzle.
Senator Rand Paul, Republican presidential candidate, says it's unconstitutional and illegal.
Well, no court has said that it is unconstitutional, for sure. The appeals court actually said they believe that the way the warrants were obtained were wrong, and then actually provided a path to do it correctly. Remember, 9 judges, 40 different times has this program been reviewed and approved.
Well, what happens if it isn't extended? The White House says there is no plan B. What do you think? Will America be more endangered if it isn't extended? Practically speaking, what's going to happen?
So think of it. One of the reasons we have this program is because they missed, the intelligence and law enforcement missed a phone call from Yemen from a known terrorist safe house into the United States. After the event of 9/11, we found out that was one of the calls to the 9/11 hijackers. Wouldn't it have been great for that to kick off an investigation to determine who did they call and why did they call? You'll lose that part, and you'll lose these roving wiretaps. Terrorists are pretty savvy these days. They understand that switching phones and switching them frequently will screw up the warrant process when trying to listen to those phone calls. Without that, you'd run the risk of a very savvy terrorist organization getting an operation into the United States and circumventing legal surveillance. I think that's a problem. I don't think we should, especially with what's going on with ISIS in Syria, knowing that they're trying to get an act of terror to happen in the United States.
Now, you were chairman of the House Intelligence Committee for a long time. You were fully briefed on this NSA program. If Senator Rand Paul were sitting with us right now, what would you say to him?
Well, first of all, come up with an alternative. Saying no to all of it and letting it expire, I think, is irresponsible. If you want to be commander-in-chief, taking these important tools away, do you have an alternative that you believe protects privacy more than a bipartisan vote in the House of Representatives, which is hard to do, that came together and said, we think this is the way forward? He's saying no to any of it. I think that part is irresponsible. Let him vote on it. If he disagrees, vote no, and then tell us why he voted no. I think that's appropriate. But to stop the whole process, I think, is irresponsible, knowing that we have terrorists in Syria and Iraq who want to conduct attacks here in the United States.
All right, Mike Rogers, I want you to stand by. There's more to discuss. We're following other breaks.